Hi, welcome back to Tech Talk with Dan Harley. This is Tech Talk episode number 128. What is GDPR and how it affects your small business? Recorded on June 5th, 2018. This episode probably going to be relatively short, and reason being is I got a lot. Well, first of all, I got a lot of people wanting to know about GDPR. This thing went into effect May 25th, and a lot of people about that time or earlier got a lot of these crazy little notices from Facebook, wherever you might be on, since these new policies. So it brought up a lot of questions, even for me, and thought I might answer them real quick. Also, I've been working on a big project here, and that's the reason why you haven't seen me really kick out those episodes every week. And it's going to be good. Unfortunately, it's a secret right now, but when it's done, it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to help a lot more people out there. And this is going to change too. The what we're doing, the podcast show and the YouTube channel, stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to finishing it all up. I don't have an exact date when it's going to happen here, but fairly soon. Anyway, in case you're new to the channel and the podcast show, I'm Dan Harley. I got over 20 years of internet marketing, internet solution consulting experience with Prime Concepts, with my consulting company. I've helped countless businesses succeed online with their websites, internet marketing, SEO, social networking, email marketing, and more. The YouTube channel, the podcast show, and the Facebook channel, all this stuff is to help more businesses succeed, answer questions, solve some problems, provide some sound advice and directions. You can find the links to the YouTube channel, the podcast show, details of all the episodes of Tech Talk, and the Facebook stuff, all that good stuff at primeconcepts.net. That's primeconcepts.net. While there, please leave a comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, podcast show, all that good stuff. Facebook page too. You know the drill. And thank you for doing that. I greatly appreciate it. So anyway, the topic of this discussion this episode is what is GDPR and how it affects your small business. Quick story here. Like I say, I've been getting pounded by notices about GDPR on Facebook and Google and everything else, email subscriptions, and it's want to confirm my privacy policies, stuff like that. And if you ever read one of those things, it's way too much to read, and even the GDPR people admit that too. So it even got me nervous too, even though I knew a little bit better. So lots of my friends and colleagues got a little bit nervous too and asked me, hey, what's going on, Dan? So I thought I might quickly answer those questions here. So anyway, first and foremost, what is GDPR? GDPR, sorry. It is basically a legal framework that sets guidelines for collecting personal and processing personal information from websites and whatnot. This is actually your European Union policies, okay? Which, if those of you work in the United States that should tell you right there, probably does not concern us, but why are we talking about it, okay? It came in effect on May 25th, 2018. What it essentially does is protect personal data collected by websites and internet marketers and stuff like that, and kind of establishes a common framework that essentially hasn't been there yet. So now, is it a good or bad thing? And from my perspective, actually, it's probably going to be a good thing. Okay, I say that with caution here. Like I say, currently there's no real standard on how to collect personal information. Each website has their own privacy policies and data policies, which that in itself, without some type of framework or infrastructure there, it's very easy to manipulate or get around things. We all heard the debacle with Facebook and second, third-party providers, service providers, accessing personal information and manipulating and do a lot of stuff with that information that probably shouldn't be doing. So what GDPR does is establishes that framework that has never really been there, where we all have a common policy to follow. Now, this is strictly EU right now, okay? European Union related events, and not in the United States or anyplace else. Okay, so so anyway, this is going to be also, however, the American everybody else is looking at something like this as a kind of a universal policy. So somewhere down the line, we're going to have something like this working here, even though it started in Europe. There's something else here too. it is. This is something that's going to evolve. Right now, the May 25th is another milestone. They've actually been talking about this for a few years, how to get to this point. And then for May 25th, they're going to start working with a policy, manipulating and get everything kind of working, for lack of better terms. And start establishing more rules and guidelines of how those stuff happens. Now, the rest of the world's kind of waiting and seeing what's going on here too, especially the United States. Now, how does it affect, your business, my business, whatever? Now, if you are, if you don't do a lot of work, if you do no work with the EU countries, for instance, if you're a small local business, probably not going to affect you at all right now. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it unless you're on, Facebook or something like that. So now, what's really going to happen here, if you are working with the EU, or this might affect you, you're going to have some extra steps to collect data from subscribers, your customers, stuff like that, and probably this is also something that in the future everybody's probably looking at something like this too. Okay, now remind you, GDPR is still developing, so we're months, maybe even years away for anybody getting in trouble or getting any fines or anything. So this is not something that we have to be concerned about yet, but we should keep an eye on it. Okay, now what can you do? If you're in America, you're probably in a situation waiting and seeing. Okay, kind of most services actually have been. And now, if you are doing business in Europe or whatever, most of our services in America, wherever you're at, had automatically upgraded to GDPR policies. For example, if you have a WordPress website, the latest update essentially makes you GDPR compliant. Social networking sites are all updating. If you've ever been on Facebook around May 25th or whatever, Twitter, you see this new privacy policy come in, and you click the button, and all of a sudden you're GDPR. So all this stuff is going to be kind of automatic anyway. So not a whole lot you need to do. It just happens, okay? And also, like I say, it's almost a non-issue if you're not, at this time at least, if you do no business in the EU. If you're doing business in the EU, if you do some business in the EU, you're probably already done, or already taken care of. So consensus right now is really wait and see, okay? So, all right, in summary here, like I say, GDPR right now is not a big issue, okay? Most everything in GDPR will affect your business. Relatively simple to do, or what you need to do with it. It's really simple to deal with, or automatically taken care of. Okay, it is something you need to pay attention to, because GDPR is going to be a framework that's going to be a universal thing across the internet. It's going to be the foundation to really solve a lot of long time issues with personal data information collection. And really, as an individual, this is a good thing. Okay, basically we're gonna have a foundation to make sure our personal information, we have some control over it, because right now there's no control. Okay, and as can be seen with Facebook and all these other places, all these other companies here, collecting a little bit of information and compile it together, all of a sudden got a lot of information. This is across the board. Everybody I talk to in the industry here, and surprisingly, there's people that don't really get along, that get along with these particular policies. So I think this is something that's going to be a future. I think it's something that's going to be a necessary thing. I think it's something that the people, at least this right now, they're doing it smartly. They know it's going to take some time. They know it's going to affect certain things. Even the tiniest little issues are being looked at. So right now, GDPR is, long story short, not a big thing to worry about right now. Just keep your eyes open. And subscribe to my channel. Let you know if anything else happens with this too. So anyway, in the meantime, make sure you visit my website, primeconstance.net. Bookmark this page. Subscribe to the channel, podcast show. Share this stuff with friends and colleagues, and also please leave me some feedback. Appreciate all that. Your input is what generates the questions and topics for my future episodes. So appreciate you folks out there listening, watching, whatever you're doing out there. So anyway, with that in mind, like I said, it's going to be a relatively short segment here, episode. So I'm gonna leave right now. So anyway, good luck and Godspeed to your online success. And we'll see you in the next segment. We'll talk later.